and gentlemen, welcome to episode 123. That's exactly right. 123rd episode of Petey's Awesome Guest Panel. Now, before I introduce returning guest star for this evening, or tonight, depending on where you are, I would like to introduce tonight's co-host for this evening, all Power Ranger enthusiasts. First off, my good friend from jolly old England, Kwame Jacobs.
Yo, what's up, guys?
Good to see you again, my man. And joining him tonight is his special lovely lady, Miss Giovanna Trombetta.
Greetings and salutations, everyone. It's so great to be here.
We're so great to
Second time.
Introducing also tonight, join us. He is my Ed McMahon to my podcast, and that is my good old friend, Christopher Petey.
Hey, yo.
What's up?
Instead of hi-yo, Chris, it's hey-yo. Introducing also tonight from the wonderful world of Mexico City, Mr. Emmanuel Lopez.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Ready for this one?
I'm ready for this one too. And also joining us too, we lost her, but now we're gonna get her back in. She's actually joining us right now, and that is, let's see if it joins. Oh, okay. In the meantime, let me introduce tonight's other co-host, Mr. Daniel Romano, another good friend of mine.
Hey. What's up, everybody? Hey, Jack.
And finally,
What's up, brother?
And finally, we got joining us from Bulgaria, the lovely Simona Samatova. Pardon me.
Well, sorry, how's it going, guys? But my last name is too hard to pronounce.
No worries.
At least we're
hello.
good Americans.
All right, so now to introduce tonight's co-host for this evening. He's a wonderful man who I've had on the show before, and it was so great to have him. We wanted to have him back on again. And a man that I am so looking forward to meeting at Morphicon this year in Pasadena, which is my first Morphicon, and to meet this gentleman is going to make me feel like that 12-year-old kid again. God bless him. My guest at this time is Power Ranger Wild Force star, Mr. Danny Delgado himself, Mr. Jack Guzman. Mr. Guzman, welcome. How are you today, sir?
Thank you so much, brother. Doing well, man. So glad to be here with you guys. Thank you for the opportunity. And again.
And again, my apologies, sir, for like the delay. You know how computers are.
For sure, brother. I do. I'm horrible at them, so I understand.
Now, we're going to ask you some questions that we didn't get to touch on the last one. We covered your work that were non-Power Ranger stuff in the past. But we want to cover more Power Rangers related stuff in this interview. And I'm going to start with the first question. And I want to get your perspective on this since you had a lot of fighting scenes in Power Rangers Wild Force. And that is, how is the fight scenes choreographed? Like, is it like where like they do okay, punch, dodge, punch? Like, how do they do it?
Correct, just like that. Actually, well, first of all, anytime that we're in the helmets, it's obviously the stunt guys that are doing it. But whenever it was us fighting, just like you did it right now, we get together with stunt double, and he says, all right, basically you're gonna punch to the head once, twice, scoop down left, then come right, throw it, whatever it is, a kick, a punch. So it's done just like that, and you take it in steps, and as you learn it, gradually, it's like a dance choreography, and then from there, you put it all together.
Very cool. Because I just want to get it because I asked every Power Ranger star I had on the show. I just want to get from their perspectives. Of course, I wanted to get from yours, sir.
Sure.
And you guys have Koichi? Was Koichi Sakamoto still around? I forgot.
Koichi Sakamoto, yes. He was our director tons of times, and man, the guy is amazing. But the whole stunt team was great.
And I just want to say to everyone that I should have mentioned this before at the start of the telecast. I apologize. So for every question I have, because we have Mr. Romano joining us, for every question I have, he will ask the next question after me, moving forward. So, Daniel, your question?
I got lots of fun. Okay. Again, some of these are like deeper than others, but this one's easy. Do you think Danny and Kendall ended up with each other in the?
Well, I know they didn't, but I would have liked to. But then again, it was, I got to say, man, it was a blast working with Phil on that last episode where we got to travel the world and do a couple things. It was so much fun, man. So either way, it would have been fun. But for the long run, of course, I would have loved to have ended up with Kendall and then maybe had a little Power Ranger kid and gone back in the show. That would have been amazing, man.
Cool stuff. And
but they did it was still kind of silly question, but just thought I'd ask for the lulls,
That answered your question, right, Dan?
Yeah.
Chris, your next question?
So, what was your favorite episode of Power Rangers Wild Force?
It had to be either Never Give Up or the wedding one. It's a toss up between both of those, man, because those two were phenomenal. Obviously, they were all about me, so it was a lot of fun, and they were just great to film, man.
Absolutely, I love that one and the episode. This is the end of the Power Rangers, both part 1 and 2. An incredible episode, and also the crossover episode you guys did with the Lightspeed Rescue Crew was also another awesome one.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, man.
Time Force.
Yeah, that was really good.
Reinforcements from the future. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, it was Time Force, not Lightspeed Rescue.
My apologies. I forgot about that.
That's all right. No worries. It's okay.
I'm still in Power Ranger fever, man. I'm confusing my seasons.
Same here. I'm watching it myself.
There was never a crossover with like you guys and Ninja Storm at all, because I distinctly remember like in Super Sentai there was where they fought against each other until they like found out that they were being misled.
Yeah, it was only the Sentai Power Rangers never had it. They were going to I think it was the Wild Wipeout. I think they originally were, but it never happened because everything was moved to New Zealand by that point.
Correct. Yes, sir. We were supposed to, and they kind of mentioned it, but then they never flew us out to New Zealand. So yeah, it just never ended up happening. I'm still pretty sour about that.
Well,
oh dear,
that is literally the biggest missed opportunity.
It is. And Mr. Guzman, I just want to say too that not only will this make you feel better, but it also is going to make up for this. And I have a surprise for you. I have here one of the rare books to find, and you can get them very rare. The Power Rangers visual book, the ultimate visual history. And of course, you're in this, my man. And I want to show you your season. As everyone could see, like it goes from Mighty Morphin to I believe Ninja Steel. I could be wrong.
Wow.
Beast Morpher too, but let me see. We've got Zeo, and also here we are. Wow.
You know, it's crazy that you have that because I bought that book so long ago that I think I got it for like $20. And at this past Ranger stop, there was a gentleman that I've seen at a couple of conventions, and he had been in the military and stuff like that. And he mentioned to me how badly he wanted that book, and he says that they were like $250 now.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, bro, I think I have one, man, and it only cost me $20, and I really appreciate what you did and whatnot. And we got to talking, and so long story short, man, I ended up giving him the book, so he has it now, and that is an awesome book. Though now I'm like, dang, nice. I need to find one.
Generous.
And you know what, Kwame, before you ask a question, I just want to go over the Wild Force pages though, if everyone has the time though, because I feel like this is a book that it's very hard to get, but I definitely want to show it to everybody here. So this is the first page, and of course, look who's on the page too, Mr. Guzman. You're got your own picture right here.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
it's amazing.
Squad's all here.
And then
I love that book.
Oh, it's an excellent book, and especially this page I love too, especially the character of this one.
Oh yeah, man, that animarium is something else, man. Oof.
Yeah, the art is crazy.
It was a cool looking set too. I love the animarium.
Dude, it was amazing. It really felt like being in the jungle every day when we were shooting, man. It was really incredible what those guys did.
Wow, that's just amazing.
Okay, wait a minute. Oh,
I agree.
Another episode. Even though you weren't in it, Mr. Guzman, this was another great episode, Forever Red.
Oh yeah, definitely remember that.
Love that episode.
Same.
But yeah, Well, I'm gonna ask this question after Kwame's. Pardon me. So Kwame, you can ask your question. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah. Wait, wasn't Gia before me? Because I did do the list.
It could be you or Gia. It doesn't matter.
You know what? I want to be a gentleman. Gia, you go first.
Good guy.
All right. What was it like playing as the Black Ranger?
You mean what was it like for me or for the series, or what do you mean?
Like what was it like to play the role as that character, and how did you feel when you got it?
Oh, it was phenomenal because imagine I went literally from one day being an extra to on a Friday, let's say I was an extra, and then Monday morning I was a series regular on the show. So it was a phenomenal experience, very scary at first because I wasn't sure if I would be able to pull it off. And then, of course, I always say that Power Rangers for me and my career, it was my university or my college because I had never taken acting classes. I had never done anything, as significant as that. So I learned quite a bit as an actor of how to be on a show and when you're, on a show for a long time. So it taught me a lot of things. Forever grateful and amazing experience.
Incredible. And
Wow, amazing.
Yeah,
Plus, what's interesting too is you were on at the time it was considered the last season before, like at that point it was considered the end of it. And so, like you were like to me that was one of the greatest times to be a fan. Like it was because like believe it was a huge deal. Wow, for us. I mean, the CD came out, Forever Red, obviously, but just. I was in high school then. That was my freshman year, but that was it was a great year to be a fan. And now it's very different, but just go along with basically it was a big season at that point because we thought it was the end there. Like when they said the end of the Power Rangers, they really meant this might be the end. So
yeah, well, I wasn't aware of that. That's pretty amazing. Yeah, I didn't know that, man. I knew they were going to New Zealand. So yeah, that was the tough part that you got to understand for 9 years or even 10 years, the crew was pretty much the same crew. So it's kind of hard when you've had a job for 10 years and then you find out, hey, after this year, we're done. So, a lot of little things like that kind of hurt not only us, but the crew and the production. But again, very proud of what we did and what we put together, and super happy, man. Again, one of the most amazing experiences of my life.
Oh, yeah, you guys did great. It's, in my opinion, it's a very underrated season, and you guys did a great job with it. Not sure if I tell you that. I hope I tell you that every time I see you at a con, but just, might as well tell you again that it's great. Oh, you're welcome, Jack. So
yeah, it means a lot, man, because we really did put a lot of work into it. And I do think that, I mean, I've never seen any other season, so I can't say. But from what I've heard, we're pretty good. So it's like, yeah, you like you said, underrated for sure, but extremely grateful, man. Very grateful for everything that has given me. I mean, again, 20 years later, here we are, and we're still talking about it. So it's a pretty phenomenal job.
What's funny is I still have when we first met in 2010.
That's awesome, man. That's cool.
Oh, wow.
That is awesome, dude.
So lucky.
Sure.
Oh, I can't wait to get my picture with Jack Guzman this year.
Jack, next time I see you, have to sign this.
Yeah, for sure, man. I haven't gotten invited yet, so I hope I get invited.
Oh, if you do, Mr. Guzman, I'm gonna be like the ultimate fan. I'm just gonna give you like the biggest hug ever for making those memories as a kid. Like to touch up on what Dan said, not only is your season very underrated, it's very unique too because it's the only season that's half Saban, half Disney. Because it started off as Saban and then it later went to Disney Company when they got bought in 2001.
Well, we were 100% Disney.
Oh, you were? I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a transitional thing. Okay.
Well, yeah, it was a transition, but we had been purchased already by Disney, so Disney was the ones paying us and all that. But basically, what you're saying, absolutely, yeah.
Glad you told me that. I had no idea. And also like Dan, like he was in high school when you watched this. I was in the 5th grade, so like this was a special time to be a Power Ranger fan because he was graduating high school. I'm graduating 5th grade, so it's like this is just incredible. It was an incredible time to be a Power Ranger fan, and you had an incredible season, sir.
That's awesome, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you.
No problem. Kwame?
I was when me and Gia were literally babies.
I know.
Yeah, me and her, we share the same month.
We're 2001 babies.
Yes. That's amazing, man. I feel like I need a cane in a wheelchair.
No, you don't.
Oh, come on now.
Sir, you look amazing.
Bro, you don't look a day over 20. You look young.
No, he doesn't look a day over. He doesn't look over a day over 18. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
48 years old, man. It's been a long time.
I can just say that you still look fantastic, Jack.
Yes.
You're still amazing.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
And a total legend too, sir. we all feel that way.
That's awesome.
That's true.
Kwam, you want to ask yours? You have a follow-up question.
That's right. All right. Do you have any what's your favorite memories of shooting the damn it, sorry. Memory shooting from the iconic animarium?
Really, man, there was just too many moments that were equally important or awesome. So it'd be kind of hard to just choose one. But I mean, I can say honestly, probably the first time that I ever worked on it, it was probably the most impressive because again, I had come from never doing any acting classes or anything like that, and just in awe of what I had just booked, even though I wasn't still aware of the fandom and everything else that came with me working on that show. So yeah, I think just that initial impact of holy cow, like I'm actually here, I better do this, you know.
Oh, okay. And Emmanuel, your question?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Hi, Jack, once again. So let's go with the following question. Do you have any favorite Danny Delgado line from Wild Force?
Sure, man. Yeah, never give up, brother. Can't go wrong with it's gotta be that one, man. It's gotta be that one.
And actually, the never give up became the most important catchphrase in Wild Force because in one of my favorite episodes, I think you might know it from Wild Force 2. It's called Identity Crisis,
Sure.
where the Wild Force Rangers were basically hurt emotionally because they have lost around 3 or 4 sword crystals, and basically what Danny said to Max when he was basically down and emotionally hurt, he was basically saying, but with a great confidence, he was saying, remember what you always told me, Max. And he was smiling and he was said, never give up.
Yeah, brother.
Beautiful.
That basically encouraged, not only encouraged Max, but also encouraged the rest of the Wild Force Rangers because Elisa was the first Ranger who lost the Elephant Sword Crystal at the hands of Sanaku. Then Max lost the Giraffe Sword Crystal at the hands also of Sanaku. And then also Sanaku got the crystals from Taylor, which was the Bear Swords. So the three of them were emotionally hurt because they were their swords. And when they said never give up, encourage those guys to go to the extra mile and recover those crystals. And then the rest is history. Eric joined the Wild Force Rangers and they got the crystals back.
Yes, sir. No, and like you said, man, it's not only did it encourage them and encourage us, but that little slogan has been encouraging a lot of people for the last 20 years. Because at conventions and things, people come up to me and they let me know, man, that they were going through some really hard times or even getting bullied, all kinds of stories, and they always tell me how that phrase sort of helped them get through it, or it helped them to not give up and keep going ahead.
Absolutely. What's the most interesting thing is that all of a sudden I always remember that catchphrase over and over again, never give up, never give up. And that one is really the most perfect catchphrase to be motivated and always go to the extra mile.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, brother. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it may even sound cheesy, but you can apply that to really anything in life because, not hard or good things don't come easy, So you got to just keep going, brother, no matter what. Just never give up, literally.
Absolutely. And you did the greatest and basically you always encourage that catchphrase in the most positive way. And I can say that Wild Force is the most amazing season. One of my favorite ones because they basically Wild Force was the second full season I saw from Power Rangers. The first one was Time Force back in 2001. And then the second one was Wild Force.
Okay. Well, thank you again, brother. Definitely.
It's always a pleasure, Jack.
Always, man. Thank you.
And Simona, before you ask your question, I just want to say an interesting fact about Wild Force 2, because your season, Jack, is actually the last season in which the starter Rangers are, I believe, 5 or 6. Because in Ninja Storm, they start with 3 Rangers, and then they build up in mid-season.
Okay, I didn't know that, but that's cool.
Absolutely. Simona, your question?
Okay. First, I'm really excited to meet you all guys. Now, especially the special guest is Jack Guzman as Danny Delgado, the Iron Bison. Well, of course, I'm from Bulgaria. I'm from Europe. I became a fan of the Power Rangers since the year 2002. And of course, the first season of the Power Rangers that I managed to catch up and watch in my own country was Wild Force. And
very cool.
The Wild Force season became the first one in my own collection of Power Rangers favorite seasons. The first place was the season number 10, which is really a 10.
Oh, thank you so much. That's beautiful. Thank you.
Okay, So I come straight to the point. My first question is, have you ever rewatched recently your own season?
You know, I have not, but I did just purchase the entire season on DVD, so I'm going to watch it because maybe before PMC, you know, I want to kind of watch it, and like that, when you guys have questions or ask me things, I can be a little more fresh on it. But yeah, I have to rewatch it because I haven't seen it since 2002, 2003.
Sir,
awesome.
They also, not to interrupt, I don't mean to interrupt, Simona, but I just want to say that to Jack that they actually have every season of Power Rangers on YouTube for free online. Like, if you like, I can send you the link to it. They have from Mighty Morphin to Beast Morphers, all episodes, all 47 episodes, I believe.
Wow, very cool. Okay. I mean, I'll only watch my season, but
I'll send you your season. That's what I'm saying. If you like, I can send you your season.
Sure. Well, I just got the DVD, so let me put that to work. But thank you, brother. That sounds great.
No worries.
And to ask, was it the box set did you get, or just the separate DVD of Wild Force? Just out of curiosity, because there were 4.
It's the yellow one that has all 44 episodes.
Yeah, the complete series.
Go get it, Danny. Let me see if you have the one that I have.
Yeah, I got all 4 because fun fact.
While you're doing that, let's say more nice things about our guest star because he's such a cool guy, and I can't. Like I said, like if you go to PMCC, right?
You're talking about these, right, Jack?
Good.
Well, I have those, but no, that's not the one I'm talking about. The one I'm talking about is the thin yellow one.
Okay.
Is it that?
Here, wait. So this one, we got this one.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yep, that's the one. I just got that.
Okay, cool. Just so I'd ask, because I got all 4 of them. So
man, you have everything. I see that entire shop back there, all 44 seasons.
It's incredible, Dan.
I'll show this really quick. Since if you buy the Mighty Morphin box sets, I'm on them, and I can prove it. Here, right here. See my name.
What is that for?
It's from the Mighty Morphin box sets.
But I'm saying, why is your name on there?
Okay, they asked me because I'm, like you just said, I'm a big fan with lots of the collection stuff, and plus I'm working on 3 Power Ranger films now as we speak, so that's one of the reasons I was asked. I built
all right, so we might have some more work here soon, huh?
Oh wow!
Like here, look, I got Goldar's sword right here, so.
Dang!
Did you make that?
I did.
That's impressive, my dude.
That is
very
impressive.
cool.
Thank you.
That is highly impressive.
Wow.
So that's why I was asked on it. Like, if you watch the fans power up, you'll see me. I do some kicks and things. It's pretty cool.
Very nice, man. Maybe we should be interviewing Danny.
Yeah, you want to come on my show? I'll interview you. You're awesome.
Yeah, hey, I'm down anytime. You know. Can I do what else do I got? I do the nunchucks on there too. So just thought I'd throw that.
Oh, you got the whole package.
Wow, we got a modern day Bruce Lee here.
He's got everything, man. He's ready for it.
Chris, your question?
But I'll ask my question later.
Wait, no.
Okay, it's fine.
Sorry about that.
No, he can ask it first. Mine, it's better. Yeah, but thanks for that. Let me show that off.
Yeah. All right then. So favorite battle from Wild Force?
Repeat the question.
Mr. Guzman, what would you say is your favorite battle from Wild Force?
Favorite battle? Oh, that Bellorg. That thing was awesome.
Okay.
You remember that?
Yeah.
I do. Good episode.
Yeah, that fight was great.
It was an episode where I think Max and I were very involved, which is why I liked it a lot. And he gets captured and he gets put in this bell, and you know, the Bellorg just has him trapped, and we have to, you know, I come with my axe and break the bell, and I have to save him and all that. So that was a fun one, man. I mean, there's a couple other really fun ones, but that's the one that sticks out.
That was a great episode.
They were. And before I ask my question, Mr. Guzman, I just got to ask, too, related to the org question and the battles. How did you feel about the flute org and the bowling org and the wedding org?
All right. The flute org I hated because I don't know how to dance. So we had to dance that entire episode. I hated it. What was the second one?
Bowling org.
Oh, the bowling org. That was awesome, man. Because the guy who played, that janitor that helps Philip, or the Blue Ranger, helped to bowl and all that. He was a really cool actor, and I had seen him in a lot of stuff. So I was very happy to work with him. And then the wedding org was phenomenal because that was another episode that was about me and with Kendall, and that thing was awesome. That's probably one of my favorite episodes too, man.
I love that episode, and it just shows you like it goes into more character, like it gives more character development for Danny Delgado, and it just shows you how much of a likable human being Danny Delgado is, much like in real life, how much of a very likable person Jack Guzman is.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, man, it was a lot of fun to shoot that episode, and the guy that, that blonde-haired kid that was trying to take Kendall away, he did a great job, man. He really pissed me off.
He did. He played the great rival role.
Yes.
Well, my question I have for you is, we coming off, I believe, the 23rd or the 24th year 23rd, I believe, year anniversary of Wild Force. With that being said, I was just curious to know, what do you think of the impact Wild Force has had on younger fans nearly 24, 23 years after its initial release?
I think it's done pretty well. Like I was saying earlier, at a lot of conventions, I always have fans that come up and mention to me the struggles they were going through and how much the show has helped them. And I don't know, I think as far as the whole, union and non-union thing and all of those things, it just helped a lot to show that, man, we are actors and we do work hard for what we do. So it's nice to be compensated. So I feel that a lot of these actors before us that were non-union, they really got hit hard, and they barely made anything. And obviously we don't make any money from the toys or anything like that. And, if we did, holy cow, we'd be doing pretty well, because a lot of those toys like Daniel's got, we didn't make 1 cent off of that. Not 1 cent.
Even half of
I know that I'm in video games. I'm in a lot of stuff, and we never even made 1 penny.
You work hard for your money.
Yes, we do.
So sorry.
I'm sorry. We should have gotten, like, in my opinion, you guys should get royalties for anything that comes with merchandise, whether it's shirts, toys, video games, DVDs. I feel like you guys should be compensated for that.
I mean, yes, but I understand too, man. And at the same time, what that show has given us, I think in the long run it's great. It's amazing. And sometimes, I mean, yes, the money would have been nice, but the experiences and everything else that we got from it, I think is more important, man.
Totally agree. And
they do the same with the Lightning Collection stuff too. No one gets paid for their faces for that, which is ridiculous. You get no one's like I don't know if they even got asked for some of their faces too on them, but I don't know. Isn't that crazy?
And I mean, I know mine is supposed to come out next year. I thought it was going to be out this 2023, but I'm not sure when it'll come out. But yeah, you're right, Danny. We didn't get asked, or they just brought them out.
It's kind of like it's not the same like Lucasfilm, is it? Because I know they own, Carrie Fisher brought this up, like they own her likeness and stuff like that. Is it the same with you guys or not? Really?
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is, because when we got, the contracts to be part of the Power Rangers franchise, it was basically, here's your contract, either sign it or get out of the way, and there'll be 50 people behind you that are willing to sign it.
Wow. I see.
Thanks.
But that's interesting. I didn't realize, I didn't know that. So.
That's cold, man. That is cold.
That is.
It is. And it's unfair.
It's like show business.
Yeah, it's totally unfair, like Gia said.
I want to say, Kwame, before you ask your next question, I just want to say to Mr. Guzman too, we have a gag question that we have on there. We ask to every single guest star. Kwame knows this question, and usually I want to be the one to ask you this, but I was so excited to ask you this, but I'm going to let Kwame ask this question. So go ahead, Kwame, ask this traditional question we have for our Power Ranger stars.
Is it the teachings one,
No,
or is it the
no.
one I mostly say?
You know which one? The one with.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
So obviously, you know what I'm going to say. How does it feel to be a legend?
Man, I honestly don't feel like it. it's funny you say that, because back in 15, I believe, or 14, whenever it was that I went to my first PMC, a guy by the name of Realm called me up and he was like, "Hey, Jack, we'd like to invite you to PMC." And I was like, "What is that?" And he's like, "Oh, well, Power Morphicon, and it's where fans get together and they meet you, and you get to sign pictures and autographs." And I was like, "Dude, I did the show about 10, 15 years ago. Like, who's gonna want to even see me?" And he was like, "No, man, there's a lot of people." So honestly, this has just been a great ride, brother. I honestly don't feel like one, because I always say that I would like to be a lot higher and further in my career. So maybe someday when I reach that status, I can come back and tell you. But as of being a legend, I mean, I'm grateful for you guys thinking that, but I don't see myself as that, man. I'm just a working actor,
Respect that.
But you know
I
what?
totally respect that.
Well, we all would love to meet you one day. Like it's like we all like would die just to meet you, because how much you impacted us, like watching Power Rangers.
That's awesome,
Hey, as
man.
far as
I
I'm
hope we get
Especially,
to.
yeah. Especially
I
my
hope we get
girlfriend,
to
because you've
meet.
impacted her the most.
um, Kwame, I'm sorry with the that question. I mean,
Well, if I may also
uh,
interject with something here,
sure.
Petey. And since we also had Tommy Chong on our show, I'd say that puts you in the same league as him, really.
Yes, in a very good way, because we love Tommy Chung too.
Nice, very cool.
Kwam, you had a follow-up question with that one.
Oh yeah, that's right. What teachings or important lessons have left you during your time in Power Rangers?
I think the fact of just to remain humble. Obviously, my acting it helped a lot with all the acting stuff, like I said, about it being like a university or a college. But as far as me and my personal life, it gives you hope, man. Because when you're an actor, you go on auditions and you don't always book them, so you start kind of getting down on yourself sometimes and all of that. So I guess the fact that I was a series regular, it always just gives me that little bit of hope that it's possible. It's because if something has never happened, it's a little harder to believe than rather when you've won something or when you've done something. Then it's almost like buying the lottery. If you always buy it and you never win, you're kind of doubtful. But if you win one time, then you're like, "Oh no, hold up, this can actually happen." So it gives you that little extra
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Incredible. Emmanuel, your question?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so the following question, in this case, it's Jack. Which of the orgs did you like?
The orgs that I like, man, brother, I don't think I liked any of them.
They were his enemy. They were his enemy, man.
Yeah, no, but that there was a tire org. I think there was a tire org, and that was pretty cool. That was a lot of fun, man, to work with that guy. They were all kind of a pain, though. That's why we had to beat them up and all that. But they were fun, man.
They had Wild Force had some cool looking monster suits. I'll say that for sure. I love some of the suits from there.
We really
definitely.
did.
I agree.
Totally agree. And Chris, before you ask the question, I just want to say to Jack too that we've had Anne-Marie Crouch on the show like in the past, and I said that Anne-Marie has the heart of a princess. Well, I can honestly say to you, sir, that Jack Guzman has the heart and strength of a bison.
Thank you, brothers. Yeah, no, definitely. That's very important to me, man. I always want to remain a humble person and remember where I come from, and see if I can teach people, I don't know, little lessons in life, so you don't have to go through them. If I went through them and struggled, and I can save you that struggle, that'd be really nice.
Thank you, sir.
I agree.
And you're a big inspiration to all of us.
Excellent.
Literally.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry, Chris. Your question?
It's a big one.
It is a big one.
I mean, and since we kind of already talked about it, I suppose I can just break it down a little bit. And so, yeah, earlier you said that back in 2001, I think there was like a transition of Power Rangers ownership from Saban to Disney, and you guys ended up having to film move over to New Zealand. How would you describe the transition was like?
I mean, it was for us. It was okay because we were here, so I didn't really have any transition. I worked in Santa Clarita, California. It was probably 40 minutes from LA, where I lived in Hollywood, so it wasn't really bad. The transition was really for the whole production and everyone that went to New Zealand. We didn't have to transition at all. We, like you just said, we were the last show here, so our transition was smooth. We didn't know any better.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Manny, you had another question?
Yes, absolutely. Let's go with the next question. Sorry. Okay, so do you in this case do you have any memories shooting the last episode of the end of the Power Rangers 1 and 2?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, it was amazing. We worked at the God, what's it called? It's that hotel where one of the Kennedys got killed, and it was really famous. It was really the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles, and that's where we shot it. And when we shot it, man, it was completely vacant. There was nothing there, and we shot all night. Like, our call time that day was maybe, some around probably 6 o'clock, and we worked all night till probably almost 4 or 5 in the morning, and it was freezing cold. And then, of course, when they would put that rain on us and all of that. So yeah, that was a phenomenal experience, even though it was tough, because there was times where, man, we really wanted to give up. It was just so cold.
I can imagine that, of course, how it was for you, Jack, and of course, the entire cast, because that final battle from Wild Force was incredible. Even when they lost everything, because we have to keep in mind that when Masterwork was Super Masterwork in his total form, he destroyed everything, all of the wild swords. And then the Rangers lost all of their powers, but even without powers, they were still fighting. They were still fighting to save the universe. And it was basically the most. I can honestly say that it was the most incredible final battle I've ever seen.
Wow.
I have seen so many great final battles in Power Rangers history. For example, the Countdown to Destruction from In Space, the Journey's End from Lost Galaxy. Of course, the End of Time season finale from Time Force, but the end of the Power Rangers season finale from Wild Force, I can say that it was brilliant. It was
Thank you, man.
It was amazing, an emotional ending, because it was the time where after Master was finally defeated once and for all. That was when the Wild Force Rangers have to relinquish their powers to Princess Shayla. That was basically the most emotional thing, because they have saved the universe, but it was indeed the end of an incredible ride.
Yeah, no, thank you, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it, because it was rough, but it was awesome to film. And you're right, all the girls, they were crying that entire week. They were just crying all week, man.
Oh gosh.
It was. I can
imagine how
it was for the ladies, for Anne Marie Crouch, Princess Shayla, for Allison, who portrayed, of course, Taylor Earhart, the Yellow Wild Force Ranger. Of course, I can honestly say that, of course, the most emotional character I've ever seen was undoubtedly Elisa, Jessica.
Yeah.
Jessica. Right.
Yeah. No, they definitely, it hit them pretty hard, man, because they knew that the end was near, and it's always tough because we had such a good time. I wish it could have kept going.
Yeah.
Same here. And Simona, before you ask your next question, I just want to say to everyone that Dan had to go a step away for, like, I don't know how long, but he may not be with us by the time this interview ends. But I just want everyone to know that he stepped away, and I don't know if he's coming back.
All right.
Yeah, don't worry. All right. I saw him say something on the chat, so I replied. So I told him to go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to address that right now. Everyone's wondering where he went.
Yeah, that's cool.
Simona, your question?
Okay. Here I am again with my second question for the Iron Bison. So, all right, my dear Mr. Jack Guzman, I want to ask you something. Did you ever notice on the internet the art designs, the fan art designs based on Power Rangers?
Yes, absolutely. And every time it gets better and better. Actually, it's funny you say that. There's a gentleman named Toku J, I believe. and he made this artwork that's just phenomenal. I mean, it's the coolest Power Ranger art that I have seen personally of myself. And, you know, he was kind enough to share it with me. So at my next conventions, I'm going to be selling those pictures because they were just amazing. Amazing. If you go to Toku J, I believe is his name, you'll be able to see it. It's, oh my God, it's just amazing with that kid. But yeah, I love all the artwork. You know, it's always fun to see what everybody thinks of, you know, kind of what their idea and what they draw. And I always find that such an amazing talent because I always wanted to draw and I can't. So I'm always in awe of the stuff they come up with.
Incredible. We have a couple more questions before we wrap up, Mr. Guzman. And Kwame, you had a question.
Yeah, along with Gia. Speaking of art, Gia did draw Wild Horse one time for a good friend of hers.
Oh yeah, it was for his birthday, and he really liked it, and he was also a huge fan of you, Mr. Guzman. His name is Hamish.
That's very cool. I wish I could see it or send it to me if you could have a copy of. I mean, not literally, but you know, on Instagram or whatever. Show it to me sometime. I would love to see it.
I don't have Instagram, but I have DeviantArt. That's where I do a lot of my artworks on.
I love that site.
I don't know what that is.
It's like an art site.
Yeah, it's another art site.
I know a way to do it. Leave that to me. I'll send it to Peter, and I'll make sure you'll transfer it to you.
Oh yeah, please do.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love to see it. Thank you for that. So you drew all of us, or?
I think it was like I drew like his character like cosplaying as one of the main cast, including you. Okay. It was a while ago.
Very cool. Thank you. Yeah, I definitely look forward to seeing it.
You're welcome.
Before we get into the final questions, though, I just want to say, Jack, in related to art stuff, last year, Kwame, Manny, Chris, you've seen this before. I handcrafted a diorama of for Power Rangers 30th anniversary. Hand-carved over 300 Rangers. You were one of them, Mr. Guzman. I handcrafted.
Wow.
I'll actually send you a picture of it. Like, and you guys have seen it. I hand-carved every single major villain, every major Power Ranger. See, did we lose Jack?
Wait.
No! Did we lose Jack?
Huh?
Hold on.
Wait, what the?
He might be back. We can all edit this. Don't worry. Not to worry.
All right. Okay.
Oh dear.
I can edit this. Hold on. Let me find out what happened to Jack.
That was strange. Whoa. What the heck?
You don't tell me history's repeating itself.
Wait, no, he's back on, guys.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, thank goodness.
I got worried because I got a bit worried that history was going to repeat itself like last year.
Don't worry. This will all be edited.
Man, I'm so sorry. I don't know what.
Yeah, it would have been like a bizarre coincidence if like the same thing had happened before.
No.
Yeah, I got a bit worried.
Oh,
you know what? Because finally my internet is finally stable now, so now I don't have to worry about that. But what I was going for, Mr. Guzman, I can actually send you pictures. I actually hand carved the Wild Force Rangers, Princess Shayla herself. I was very proud of what I did. I'll send you pictures of it.
Yeah, man, I would love to. That's awesome, bro.
It took me, I would say, from February to like April to complete.
Wow.
And I remember too because I actually met Justin Nimmo the day I finally finished the project.
That's amazing, brother. Yeah, man. Show it to me.
Thank you. I will.
This is a question for, well, both Gia and I were going to ask it together, basically. We were quite curious on when you were playing the role as Danny, Jack, like, what made him have a huge liking towards Kendall? Like, me and Gia have been very curious about that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not really sure because, to be honest with you, I know when I met her, we were already sort of, I was just in awe of her, honestly. If I believe correctly, when I met her, I was in awe of her, and I was really, I don't know, I was a really shy guy, and that's why I made her the little bracelet, and I wanted to tell her so much, but I was always so shy. So I'm not sure how I guess we met at the flower shop, though, right?
Yeah, it was that scene when you looked over her at the flower shop.
Okay, yeah. So, God, it's just been so long, guys. I'm so sorry, but yeah. So, you know, just yeah, man, that was basically it, brother. I just was in awe of her. I thought she was a really cool girl, and then obviously when I saw that she was interested in me, that made me even happier, you know.
Oh, that's
Oh
so
my God.
sweet.
Why is this
Aw.
why is this so relatable? Because Danny was shy to talk to this girl that he liked. It was kind of the same thing with myself and Gia when we first met.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Same with
It
mine.
was literally
How long have you guys been together now?
for 2
2
years.
Wow, very nice. Okay,
Bless
you know that I actually after the show ended, I went out with Kendall for 3 years.
Oh,
Hey,
that's so
you're
sweet.
cooking. That's great, man.
Yeah, she was my girlfriend for 3 years after that.
Let's
Oh,
hope.
cool.
I hope they're still together. You
Um,
have to.
Simona, your final comment or question for Mr. Guzman?
Well, I don't want to shame myself, so this is gonna be 2 parts. So I got a question and a comment.
Okay.
Only if Mr. Guzman doesn't mind.
No, not at all. Please.
Okay, thank you. So, first I got to with the fact. Speaking of the Wild Boars, well, of course, the Power Rangers, but they're warriors. So I really like the Wild Boar season, not only because I like the animal theme, because I really like it, especially all the episodes of the seasons, the members of the cast, and of course the song of Animaria, and one of my other facts, they're warriors with their inner animal spirits. So of course in the season I like your poses after the morphing.
Sure.
When you say your the names of your animal guardians, Blaze, Lion, Star, and Eagle. The poses are really cool, really wild and beautiful, just like your own season. So
thank you.
Speaking of the art design, so me myself have made some designs, not drawing, but the collage designs.
Okay.
Of you, and I've got my one of my special surprises for you and the other members of the Wild Force Rangers team. So, which is my mom helped me to embroider special napkins I made for you, and of course for the Wild Force Rangers team. I've got a photo of that. If you'd like, I want to share the screen so I can show it to you.
Yes, please go right ahead.
Will this be okay? All right. I'll show it to you along with the collage photos, if you like.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, he said sure. Go on, man.
Let's go. Okay. There you go. Can you see it now?
No.
No.
No. What are we looking at?
Just a sec. I got it.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, no, there you go.
There's the collage. The collage photos, along with the napkins I made. Here's Ricardo. The blazing lion, and here's your blazing lion. And of course, the napkin I made for him.
Still waiting for it to.
We can't
boot up on my
see
side.
it. We can't see it.
Yeah,
I
still
wasn't
loading.
able to see it.
No, still not.
Yeah, we can't see it.
It's
Sorry,
not
man.
coming up, Simone.
it's still loading.
We'll still be spinning.
I'll share it again, so sorry about that.
No, it's
Oh,
okay.
don't be sorry.
It's all good.
Sorry about that, but okay. Can you see it now?
Oh, there you go. There you go.
There we go.
There you
There we
go.
There's the collage.
Wow.
Wow.
Man,
There's
look how young.
there's Ricardo. Here's your blazing lion.
Yes.
And there's the napkin I made for him. Here's the flag of my own country. For
That is
Ricardo,
so awesome.
it's called the blazing lion.
Very cool.
Taylor, the Soaring Eagle. Soar like an eagle. Here's a napkin I made for Taylor. For Allison, Taylor, the yellow eagle.
Taylor's the second strongest yellow ranger.
Okay.
Oh.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Maria's Max. Here's Phil Jean Maria's Max.
Yeah.
Surgeon Shark.
Nice.
There's the napkin. There you go. There's the design for Phil Jean Maria's Max.
Wow.
Surgeon Shark.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
So here's the other one. And of course, Jack Guzman is Daniel Gatto, the
There's our
Oh,
guy.
there he is.
There's our
There
guy.
you go. There's your bison.
That's so cool.
And there's the napkin I made for you.
Wow. Thank you.
For
Thank
Jack
you.
Guzman is Danny the
Whoa.
bison. There you go.
Man, that took a lot of work. Thank you so
Jessica
much.
Reyes, Alyssa, White Tiger,
Yes.
White Noble Tiger. Here's the design I made for her. So, Jessica Reyes, Alyssa, the White Tiger. White Tiger, but I added the pink because I noticed it on her street outfit with the jacket, on her ranger outfit, and on her wild sword, of course.
Yes,
so
that
that's
looks
I added.
great.
And of course, the extra edition of the team, the Lunar Howler Wolf Ranger.
Yes.
Here's Philip Merrick, the Lunar Howler Wolf Ranger. And there's the napkin, of course.
Oh, man, I hope they get to see this sometime. I'm sure they're really going to enjoy it. It's beautiful. Tell your mom thank you for all her help. It looks great.
Philip Andrews Merrick, the Lunar Howler Wolf. There's the wolf and, of course, the face of the moon.
That looks awesome.
And, of course, my collage for the lovely Anne-Marie Crouch is the mentor of the team, Princess Shayla. Along with the Anna Miriam. And the napkin I made for her. For Anne-Marie Crouch is Princess Shayla.
Incredible.
Wow,
Man,
that's really good.
You know that I had a really good friend of my family's. His name is Todor, and he lives in Bulgaria. He's the owner of a soccer team, I believe, or something like that now.
I never heard of it, but of course, I hope everyone, including Peter, saw my little surprise.
We did.
Thank you. It looks awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Well, of course, I just want to say the fact that, of course, Jack has now said it took me a lot of time, but no, my mom just helped me only with the first one. But the rest of them, I made it for 2 or 3 weeks.
Wow. Thank you so much. That's a lot of work, man. That's amazing. They came out great, though.
They did.
That's one of the ways I show my love to the wild for a season.
Well, hopefully one day I can meet you in person and sign it for you.
I really hope to meet you and the rest of the team personally someday, so I can give it to you in person.
Thank you.
All right. So here's my question, of course. We all know that I always say, watching behind-the-scenes videos from the Power Rangers franchise, so I always say that the biggest fun is behind the scenes. So, because they have, despite the hard work, they have time to relax and, of course, to shoot great photos. Here's my question. Do you have a favorite moment on set?
You know, there was a lot. There was obviously a lot because it was an everyday thing. But the one that right now at least came to my mind when you asked was, yes, there was one time where we were shooting in some caves. And I remember Jessica had a Walkman or I don't even know if it was a CD player at the time. I can't remember. But she let me hear it. And it was an Enrique Iglesias song. And I put it on and I started just dancing and I was acting like it was a music video and she recorded the whole thing.
Wow.
She has a funny recording of me doing
just I asked it again. Just that because I noticed on the internet some of your promotion or behind the scenes photos and said to check Guzman, of course, one of my favorite behind the scenes photos of was and where you are, 4 of you, I mean, you and Phil Jean-Marie as Max and Jessica Reyes, Alyssa, and of course Phil Cantor is back. You're posing like that.
I wonder if it was when we took a trip to Jamaica.
Just a sec. Of course, but just a sec. If you like, I'll try to share the screen again because I have this photo on my laptop.
Sure.
Sure.
Okay, I'll try again.
Okay. If it's just one photo, maybe it'll come up faster.
Okay. There you go. One of my favorite photos from behind the scenes because you all look wild and beautiful on the internet. Next to this photo, the description was "Wild for show off their muscles."
Nice.
Cool.
This reminds me of that song, "You Spin Me Round, Round, Baby, Round, Round."
Oh, that song.
Yeah.
Round, and I can't see a screen.
Yeah, we
speaking of, I was talking about that photo, and of course, the other one of my favorite photos from behind from the season was your whole team, and of course, Princess Shayla. You were in the Honorarium before the final battle with Master Orr. When Allison as Taylor said to you, "Picture time," and you took a photo.
Giovanna, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Call her Gia for sure.
You just call me Gia.
Oh, Gia, sorry about that.
It's fine.
Well, I'm going to take advice from Kwame, and I'm going to say ladies first. So, Gia, you go first. Any final comment for Mr. Guzman?
Well, I would like to say that I want to thank you for being like part of my childhood, and during that episode on Never Giving Up, that episode really speaks to me in a real positive way, because I used to deal with a lot of well, anxieties and self-doubts about myself, but just hearing that line, it actually helped me through it, especially when I was dealing with bullies and problems in high school. So again, thank you so much. And if I ever get the chance to meet you, I want to give you a big hug. Absolutely. So thank you.
You're not the only one. You're not the only one, Gia.
That's phenomenal. I'm so touched by the fact that something that I did so long ago was able to help you, and still to this day, you know, that you're able to carry that on. So thank you, and thank you for sharing that. And definitely, if I ever meet you, you're gonna have to run away, because I'm gonna squeeze you with a huge hug.
Make sure she don't escape. I'm gonna make sure she won't escape, because I'll make sure I'll be going with her to Power Morphicon one day. That's my dream convention. It's my turn. Oh yeah.
Yep, your turn, Kwame. Like, well,
Sure.
It's like the Frank Sinatra song. You can't have one without the other. So,
yeah.
From your spouse to yourself, final comments or questions.
Sure. Yeah, I just got two things, but I'll make it quick. Yeah, like Gia said, thanks for making our childhoods awesome, and also you brought a big impact on all of us. And Danny will always be one of our favorite Black Rangers. Personally, you're one of my favorites, and you always will be.
Same.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
No problem. Yeah, and you will always hold a big thing in my girlfriend's heart, because obviously the reason why she likes Danny so much is because he's a really big softie.
Yes.
Would you say big teddy bear too?
He was.
He is.
And still is.
All right. Well, thank you, guys. That means a lot.
Yeah, anytime. And also, yeah, like the running gag we do on Peter's show. I normally ask this just to make it look more interesting for the podcast. Like, is there any questions you want to ask us?
God, you know, the main thing I was wondering is, how did you guys all meet? Because you're from all over the world. That's a beautiful thing.
All right, let's see.
Oh gosh.
I'll go first. It's kind of a funny story. It was during when I was just surfing on Facebook, just minding my own business, until I was on the Storm Club, until I saw Peter's link when he was talking with Rancic and Mesogog from Time Force and Dino Thunder. I checked it out, and I was like, how is he in contact with them? And then when I saw how he was talking to them, I'll admit I was a bit envious, because I wish that was me. Until I put one of my comments I commented on his video saying, you're very lucky to get to interview such great people, until Peter showed me the light and he said I could join, and that's when he changed my life forever. I was once a guest co-host, and now I'm a full-on co-host. He literally changed my life for good.
That's awesome, man. Awesome.
Yep. I'm still trying to get more of my friends to join us. When Gia, obviously she's my girlfriend, she's the first one out of all of our friends to be part of this. I'm still trying to get more of us to be here.
Any friend of yours, Kwame, is a friend of mine.
Hell yeah.
This is actually the second time joining in on here, and to be fair, I was quite nervous, but not anymore.
I did say, when it's your first time, you'll get a bit nervous, but second time you'll be at ease. But the more you do it, piece of cake. It's a lot of fun when you do it.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and tell my story here. And so me and Pete actually met on Facebook after I was promoting some content and for a wall for a old claymation show done by Will Vinton called Gary and Mike. And he connected with me. We shared some similar interests, and we actually found ourselves to be rather kindred spirits.
That's awesome.
That's true.
Yeah, and we also liked Power Rangers. Well, I like to hit somewhat of it, and he actually he liked it like a hell of a lot more. And he was also into pro wrestling. I was into pro wrestling. And we enjoyed 80s shows, 90s shows, and various other sitcoms. And we also had like some video game interest too. But how I actually got acquainted with the podcast is a bit of a funny story. Whereas, in a way, he would actually claim that I inspired his podcast. Whereas I got in touch with the various folks who actually worked on the show, Gary and Mike, and managed to like had a few like online interviews with them and their work on the show itself.
Okay.
So, when I actually he showed that they were actually reachable, he actually took to reaching out to various celebrities and various work that he himself appreciated.
Nice.
And henceforth came the birth of Petey's Awesome Guest Panel.
Okay.
And after like a few dozen episodes, I asked him if I could actually be on the show because he was actually having one of the creators, Adam Small, on the show.
Okay.
And that was the first one I did. And yeah, I was hella nervous.
You guys are two peas in one pod.
Yeah.
You actually are. You guys are.
We're all buddies.
That's awesome, man. That's very cool.
Manny, before I forget and I go on to the next thing, you want to tell how we met? If we're on a roll with this.
I'm sorry, who me?
Yeah.
It's you. Yeah, you.
Want to tell how you met me?
Your move.
About how we met, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, basically, ironically, we met, I think it was, if I don't get wrong, I think it was on social media almost 2 years ago. And it was very interesting because, you know, it was something, some context that I was just got on Instagram. But then all of a sudden, we both got the same, you know, we both of us got the same passion and the same respect for Power Rangers Legends. And what I don't remember well, but I think it was 2 years ago when we started to follow each other. And basically, ever since then, I can say that Pete is basically such an amazing guy. You know, an amazing guy, an incredible partner. Basically, we both share incredible things like, of course, going into to conventions in the future with the help of God, going to different conventions such as Power Morphicon, also Ranger Stop, the Ranger Stop and Pop, so many of this. But I can say that Pete is the most incredible guy I've ever met, and it's
nice,
amazing.
man. That's very cool, man. Very cool.
Is it the lighting or is my face red? Because I don't know if it's the lighting or if it's actually my face being red.
Yeah, you're kind of turning red.
Yes. Before Chris, we get to you and Manny, Simona. How did we meet?
My hair stories. Oh my God, I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start. Of course. Well, of course, I'm from Bulgaria. I'm 29 years old, but this year I'm going to be 30 years old in October 17th. So I was a teacher for 1 year. So I was a substandard teacher. I taught Bulgarian language and literature in the elementary school. So we met I noticed that in the on Facebook Power Rangers groups, I noticed that when I put on my comment on some of the posts I really like, I got stunned when someone, you know, from a different country notices my own comment and start asking me where I'm from. And of course, I'm from Bulgaria, of course. And I start to study English since the first grade, and I still, well, you guys give me the opportunity to practice it. So with Pierre, I noticed that because one of his common friends, and now is also mine, of course, the lovely Anne-Marie Crouch. So that's why he sent me a friend request. So And the other things, one of my hobbies, of course, literature. I still love literature. So I write my own poems. And of course, I started to write my own fan fictions.
Nice. Okay.
So, to you, my dearest Mr. Guzman, I'll say to you and to all of you guys, but in my first fan fiction, I combined themes I liked in the past, now I still like, and of course, there's a little special surprise. I include my top 3 of my favorite Power Rangers seasons, and of course, the first one, the Wild Force. So
nice.
I included that, so I didn't call you directly as the Rangers, because I call you the Warriors. So the names of your animal guardians, Blaze, Lancer, and Eagle, they reminded me of the Native American names, the Indian names. So I chose that the Indians, the Native Americans, also have a great respect for the importance of nature. So I decided to name the secret and mysterious tribe called Animal Spirit, which has 2 camps. The first camp is on the ground, on the land. And the main chief I choose to be on that secret camp, none other than Animus himself.
Nice.
And of course, my main characters made him and other secret members of the tribe, which also has inner animal spirits. And of course, on the second time, my main characters made the chief of the tribe again, and he tells them about the second camp of the tribe, which is the Animarium himself. So, and of course, the second camp of the tribe is the Warriors of the Wild Force.
Nice.
Incredible.
What's your interest? Why the interest in the Native Americans?
No, because I like the fantasy theme. I become a fantasy fan since 2001. I became a fan of Harry Potter, of course. So the fantasy theme infused my imagination. So I like, of course, in school, I always was interested in studying biology. And the first lessons of biology were, of course, the plants and the animals. So that was really good for me. I still find it interesting. So
very cool.
That's one of my hobbies, of course. So writing and the fan fiction. So the other one of my hobbies in literature is poem writing. Now I write them now in my own language, but someday I will translate some of them.
Okay, sounds good. I'm looking forward to hearing from him.
All right, I'll dedicate some to the Wild Force Rangers, of course.
Thank you.
My love to you.
Awesome.
Yes, so we share the same passion. So that's for now for me.
Okay.
We have I just got a notification from the Zoom meeting. We have 5 minutes left until it shuts down because I can put a timer. So let's go really quickly with the final question and comment. And Chris, you go. Final comment or question for Mr. Guzman.
All right, Jack, have you actually watched any of the Super Sentai version of Wild Force?
No, I've never seen any of that.
You never? Oh yeah, that's right. You haven't watched Hyakuju Sentai Gal Ranger. That's your Super Sentai counterpart.
Yeah, it's just when I got hired on Power Rangers, I didn't want to watch anything because I didn't want to be in a box. I wanted to make sure that I gave it my own touch and I wasn't trying to follow someone from another series or another person or anything like that. So that was pretty big for me. I didn't want to ever watch anything. I just listened to, the writers, the producers, and then obviously the director, and then wanted to play in that box. I didn't want to get, held up in something that someone else had done.
That's understandable.
You made the right choice. You actually made the right choice on doing that, Jack. Like, really, you made the right choice.
Good, thank you.
Of course.
You get your own, I guess, impression of how the character works. Although I often have this vision that maybe someday there would be like a one-to-one adaptation of like the Super Sentai version of like Power Rangers, whereas we actually have, I guess, more edginess to it, as well as maybe like, I guess, maybe sort of Americanization of like Japanese cultural norms that are usually seen within the show, or anything you probably see with in an anime like Naruto.
Well, I think you have a point. I think it's just the American version has to be a lot more toned down, because I've heard that the Japanese version is a lot rougher. So a lot of the kids here wouldn't be able to watch that. I think that's the main reason why it's tamed down so much, because I don't think too many parents would want their kid. I mean, as it is already, I remember a lot of parents complaining that it was too rough, that we were kicking and fighting. And so I imagine if it was even rougher than that, we would have probably had a problem.
I mean, true. All the standards and practices that are present within the American Broadcasting Association, or whatever the hell it is.
CC. They like to ruin everything. Like,
that's literally a fact. That's a fact.
It's so true.
Those
Damn
damn
straight.
fruits.
Manny, your final comment or question for Mr. Guzman?
Yes, absolutely. Sorry, guys. I just want to say thank you for an amazing time. I just want to say thank you so much for an incredible. Basically, it's 1 year in the making, and I can say that this was the most amazing time that we all had together. And of course, Jack, you did. I still say that you're one of the most incredible Black Rangers in history. I can say that you, along with Roger Velasco, basically are my two all-time favorite Black Rangers in history. And I can say, and of course, it's the two guys who gave the greatest honor to the Black Ranger history.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, Roger's a really cool guy, man. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
It's always a pleasure.
Daniel, your final comment and question for Mr. Guzman?
Well, first, Pete, thanks for having me. Jack, thanks for coming. One thing I wanted to touch on, I got sorry I left earlier, but I'll do this as fast as I can. I'm not sure if this was brought up earlier or not, but what was special about Wild Force and just your season, that time in general, is like, think about this. That was post 9/11. That was a year right after that happened. So having a hopeful season like the Never Give Up and just it being a more positive light season, I think was really good for that time. And especially, like, I'm sure you knew this too, they censored a lot of Wild Force. Like they were censoring Time Force at the time too, but that led into Wild Force too. But anyway, just that's what makes it, like, I mean, you're probably filming also during 9/11, so that was, like, I'm not sure on that, but maybe. But just anyway, the point is that's what makes it another special season to me, because after that horrible year, it was nice to have something uplifting in 2002. Anyway, I had a bunch of questions earlier, but I'll try to ask. Okay, here's one. What did you think about? I mean, we touched on this just a second ago. What do you think about like, there was a lot of death in Wild Force. Like, how do you think that was handled? In, like, for example, Cole's parents, Master Org, Kite. How do you think, like, one of the main themes of that? How do you think that was handled in Wild Force?
I mean, I liked it a lot, man, to be honest with you, because I mean, even though it hurts and it may be sad or whatnot, death is a part of life, you know. So it's that whole cycle where I always say I like the fact that they were truthful about it. You know, they didn't kind of just paint it really nice and set it up beautifully. And it's like, no, I mean, death is part of life, whether it hurts, whether it's sad, we're good, bad, whatever it is, it'll always be a part of our lives. So I think they did a great job with it. You know, they didn't make it too rough, but they made it nice.
They did.
And even leaving Ela, like, his character just having, like, we never had at that time, especially now, they never do that nowadays. Like, where Ela they just completely killed off Master Order. Like, he's had, like, the last thing we see is his gravestone. They never do that nowadays. That's too intense, and they don't, like, that's what I tell Anne Marie this all the time. But I'm glad Wild Force took risks then, like, because nowadays they don't take risks, they don't do anything. It's like, ooh, we got a female Red Ranger, ooh, never seen that before, ooh, it's so edgy. Nah, like, just stupid things. And like, oh, you think you're being like, nah, like this, like tackling death and serious issues, that's what makes a season great. And actually doing, like, it handles, like as you said, it handled it in a real way, and I really appreciate that about Wild Force.
Definitely, man. Thank you. And then, yeah, very cool that you think like that. Because, I mean, and you know, we all have our preferences. I mean, I'm sure that some people would beg to differ with you and say, well, I think it is important, you know, to have a woman that's the Red Ranger, and with the whole women movement and empowering women and all of that. I think it's all beautiful as long as they're taking a chance, you know, whatever they're doing, as long as they don't just do the same thing over and over and over. So as long as they're taking chances, I'm all for it.
I was joking that I was just, but like, it's an unpopular opinion that I have, but it's just, you know, like, everyone's cool. Like,
but it's okay. You're entitled to it. And I think that's something that's important nowadays, is that it can be okay if you and I don't think the same thing. You know, everyone always gets so upset, or, oh, you're against me. And it's like, no, I'm not against you. I just don't believe what you believe, you know? So I think it's a great thing, man. That for me, I hope that not only this show, but all shows or movies always take chances. You never know. You know, and people are a little too uptight nowadays, I think. You know, my personal opinion. They get pissed off too easily, you know? People get upset too easy now about people's comments, and I don't know, it's just too many things, but that's a whole other show.
You're 100% correct. I agree with you on that one.
Definitely.
I actually find myself looking rather closely at the edginess that they have in Star Wars, because you see plenty of death, you see plenty of explosions, you see plenty of fights. And yet somehow children are okay to watch that, but it's not okay to like show that on Power Rangers. Come on!
I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah. It would have been cool if it was like that, but that'll be fine by me.
I have before I get to my final comment, I just have one final question, and this is the question I didn't get to ask you on part 1 of our interview, sir. And
that's a chance, bro.
Yep, it's the opportunity. Knock on wood, this internet is going great right now. My final question for you, Mr. Guzman, is what's next for Jack Guzman? Now, this is a part of the show, Mr. Guzman. It's open forum. You could talk about anything you want. I am passing the proverbial microphone to you. The floor is yours, Mr. Guzman.
Thank you. Well, brother, I just moved in June to Atlanta, so I'm living in Atlanta now, and I'm planning on getting back into the whole entertainment industry again, start auditioning and all that. But first, I just want to get kind of acclimated with Georgia or Atlanta, and you know, and start seeing where the studios are, the casting directors, all of that kind of stuff, and then yeah, just jump in head first, and hopefully I can continue to work like I have been for the past 20 years.
I've been to Georgia. It's hella humid.
What's that?
I said I've been to Georgia. It's hella humid.
Well, I'm from Miami originally, so I can handle it. I'm used to it.
Okay, I'm from Oregon originally, so yeah, it was a bit of a contrast.
Yeah, definitely.
That's hopefully they ask you for Ranger Stop then, because that's in Georgia, isn't it?
I went to the one that was last year. I think I went the past 2 years. I went to Ranger Stop Atlanta. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was great. This year, I haven't been asked, so I'm not sure. And I've been hearing rumors that it might be the last one, at least for now. So we'll see what happens. But definitely excited about PMC. That's always a really cool one. And I've been out of LA for a couple of years now, so it'd be nice to get back there.
Awesome. And my final comment to you, Mr. Guzman, is that, you know, this is such a treat having you back on the show. My birthday is in 2 weeks. I'm going to be 34 years old. To have you back on is a special early birthday present for me, because I still am a huge fan of your work. And I just want to say also thank you, not only for the memories you gave me watching Power Rangers, you know, Wild Force, but also thank you for an amazing interview. And I just want to say as well that you have this I mean, it's unfortunate, and I think we all can agree on this one. It's unfortunate that you don't have the same powers like a Danny Delgado does as a Ranger, but you have this incredible gift in which you can take a 30-something-year-old fan and bring him way down here and make him feel like that 12-year-old watching Wild Force again. And that's how I feel.
Awesome.
I jokingly say that, you know what, they say you feel like a kid in a candy store. No, I feel more like that kid at Blockbuster Video rented Power Rangers Wild Force VHSs and video games. And if I'm going to sound like an ultimate fanboy, I'll say I feel like that that little kid fan with the life-size action figures right now interviewing you.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. I mean, again, man, you guys made my day, and you continue to make my life, man, because, you know, the fact that you guys enjoy the work that I've done, it's just so pleasing. It really fills my heart. So thank you. I really appreciate it and your support.
Absolutely. And we always will support. And I just want to say 3 things. I know I can spend all day talking about how amazing and awesome person you are, but I'm going to give you 3 because we're running out of time here. So I'm going to say 3 of the most nicest things ever. Interviewing you, and then when I meet you at PMC, is going to be like doing karaoke with Elton John, and I'm a big Elton John fan. Secondly, the second thing I want to say is related to PMC. I really hope we do get to meet, because I'm gonna say who was it? Was it you, Gia, that said you want to give him a great big hug? You're not the only one. I want to give this gentleman a great big hug.
Nice, man. Thank you. And yeah, let them know, man, that you guys want to see me, so that they invite me.
Yes. And last thing before we conclude, and Kwame, Chris, you guys are very familiar with this, and I waited since I was 12 years old to do this, and I feel like you deserve it. One last thing before we conclude, and I will send you a copy of this interview when it's done and edited, I promise, along with the Power Rangers Wild Force episodes and the artwork. And this is what we're going to do for you, sir. We're going to give you a salute right now in the form of a chant, and that is, thank you, Jack. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you, Jack.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you. You have an awesome night, sir. I'm going to get working on this interview right away so I can send it to you, among other things. I promise.
All righty, guys. Thank you so much again for your time. Have a beautiful night, and then hope to see you guys again.
You too, sir. Have a good night.
It's good to see you again, man.
Bye.
Take care.